this is the most boring outcome we could have gotten with DeAndre Hopkins.
What's boring about it? It's a perfect fit and the perfect player for the perfect team. There's no other way this should have gone.
Perfect player for the perfect team. The Titans are, first of all, the Titans on the face of it are boring. They're kind of designed to be boring.
By definition, they're AFC South, so of course they are.
Right. No, but we think Anthony Richardson's going to be good with Indy, but they're kind of designed to be boring.
Right.
Because Derrick Henry, while it is exciting when he stiff arms guys and stuff like that, when you're running the ball 30 times a game, I mean, that's kind of a little bit more boring. You have quarterbacks on the roster. Does anyone really care what goes on with Ryan Tannehill at this point? I mean, maybe we get a little Will Levis. Maybe we get a little bit Malik. I couldn't care less about the Titans because I think they are right at the crossroads. You could tell me they're trading Derrick Henry at the trade deadline and they're going to tank this thing and try to get a top pick for a quarterback. I'd believe it. You can tell me that they might come in first or maybe a close second in the AFC South to win the right to get beaten in the first round of the playoffs, and I'd also believe that. Both outcomes pretty boring.
Well, when I say it's the right player and the right team, no one needs DeAndre Hopkins nearly as much as Tennessee. I can't think of, there's not a single roster with less explosive players than Tennessee, which fits your argument. But their wide receiver room was calling out, they need somebody there. I mean, Treylon Burks just didn't show it last year, and he's young. So they need him badly. I think they need him even. At least New England can scheme up some things. I know they need Hopkins too, but Tennessee needs something other than Derrick Henry. So therefore, the other thing is, like you said, they could easily win 9 games and find their way into the playoffs.
Listen, the Jags are winning that division. If we're going to give Trevor Lawrence and anoint him as like a top 10 quarterback, maybe top 5, wherever you have him, it's going to be near the top. Then they should be able to win in this crapola division.
Well, what if Trevor Lawrence is just gigantic target? What if he twists his ankle and is out 4 games? And then Tennessee's like, well, why didn't we bring in anyone? We clearly have this division. Not to mention that they almost beat your beloved Jaguars in Week 18 with Josh Dobbs off the street at quarterback, and it came down to the fourth quarter, a very close game. They're not far behind Jacksonville, at least last year.
Well, I'm expecting Jacksonville's going to get a little bit better. I would have rather seen DeAndre Hopkins in New England. Let's just see what can happen.
What? I'd rather, that is the most boring option.
Okay,
because
how
that's the
about
most boring
Kansas City? How about Buffalo? I mean, how about like a team that, okay, maybe they're going to spread the ball around a little bit more. Maybe they don't, quote unquote, need him as much, but it would have been a lot more fun. Like, I'm saying this as a neutral party. DeAndre Hopkins
is a 5th receiver in Kansas City.
How about on a Super Bowl contender? That's what I'm saying.
Don't know.
And Titans aren't that. And I don't think that the New England Patriots are either, quite frankly, but at least you get a little Belichick, a little AFC East. I mean, it's a lot more exciting right now than the AFC South.
Will you agree with me that at least going to Tennessee gives DeAndre Hopkins a better chance of making the playoffs than going to New England?
You go to the playoffs for the right to lose in the first round. Hell, they couldn't even win a game when they were the number 1 seed and they lost to Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. It's like, I'm not expecting a lot from Tennessee. And be honest, Mike Vrabel's clearly a great coach. This has nothing to do with him. He's gotten, as you said, almost beat the Jags. They had Josh Dobbs, who had just gotten to the building like 2 days before the game or whatever. He's a great coach. I couldn't be less interested in the Tennessee Titans this year. Yeah. I think if they traded Derrick Henry at the deadline, it'd probably be the smartest thing for him.
I think, honestly, the drama would have been fun in New England because DeAndre Hopkins famously won't go to practice. So that would have been interesting to see him and Belichick fight.
Bill O'Brien, former coach. Yeah. He's the offensive coordinator now.
And then I would have liked to see in Kansas City when he's only getting 3 targets a game, would DeAndre Hopkins have been mad at that? That might have been interesting, but there's nothing on the field with it. First of all, New England is the most boring team in the league right now. I'm sorry, that might be their path to success. But they are just so screwed being in that division right now that anybody who's looking at that team must be like, well, I'm not sure I want to be there. And why would they invest in Hopkins? They never invest in anybody like that. He's the last player they would have brought in at $13 million. Yep. That is just the anti-New England move. They're always fiscally responsible. So I'm not even sure how close they came. Like were they within $5 million of Tennessee per year?
Okay, well, if they were within $5 million and they didn't go the extra mile, then that's a terrible move by GM Bill Belichick.
No, he never does that.
Coach Bill Belichick, is going to be ticked off at GM Bill Belichick around week 8 or week 9 when things are teetering and they really need somebody.
But in all seriousness, he does not seem like a New England type player.
I don't know.
Maybe he'll change when he gets there. I mean, Belichick's never had success bringing in these older receivers. You know, Chad Ochocinco jumped in and was not good. I know Randy Moss was great.
More left in the tank than Chad at the time, though.
Chad was. How old do you think Chad was? He's probably 32.
All these receivers are always a lot younger than I think they are.
Hopkins is 31, so we understand why his market was suppressed. I think for the reasons you think that Tennessee is boring, I think those are the exact reasons why Tennessee desperately needed to try and do something. Because what if they're stuck in the playoff hunt and they have nobody to throw to? There's a really good chance they'll be looking at 2 or 3 games to determine their playoff life. Don't you think they want someone like DeAndre Hopkins there?
So that's DeAndre Hopkins now going to the Tennessee Titans. I mean, of all places. Stu's with me. This is boring.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you want. I would have liked a team that's a contender, even the Patriots, but the Titans are just listen, not good.
It's a snooze.
Who's got better odds to go to the Super Bowl, the Titans or the Patriots?
Well, just purely by the division they play in, maybe because of the path. But I don't understand why people think Jacksonville's going to take a step backwards here. Jacksonville should be better. They had a 24-0 lead. They overcame a 24-0 deficit.
No one thinks Jacksonville's going to get worse, but at least, the Titans were dead even with them last year. So at least you have a puncher's chance. New England is a distant fourth in that division. Look at their line. What is on that roster that scares anybody?
Well, last year they came in third, obviously, in the division because the Jets were atrocious on offense, so they couldn't get anything going. But you're always one concussion away with Tua. I know Mike White is a high-end backup, but you never, ever know.
Oh, so maybe they'll get up to third and miss the playoffs?
Listen, you're the one who thinks that Aaron Rodgers, that this might not all be gravy and sunshine and rainbows when he goes to the Jets.
Well, yeah, but there's no way he's not better than the Patriots. I think maybe I'm wrong on the Patriots. I think the Patriots are destined for an 8-9 record this year.
I think they'll be better because they finally have a competent offensive coordinator. They were so bad last year because they had no offense.
So who's taking a step back? You're saying if the Patriots are better than 8-9, that means somebody in that division has a losing record.
It's going to be someone, and it's probably going to come down to injury. 855-212-4CBS. Yes, Sam.
Here's the other part of it, though. In Tennessee, he's still the number one, but there's another number one there, so that he's not going to be double covered all the time. There's going to be, you got Treylon Burks on the other side. If he's in New England, he's getting doubled, tripled all the time. They got Juju. Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne, and Juju scares nobody. DeAndre Hopkins is getting all the coverage. So at least in Tennessee, he's going to get some open shots. He's going to get, and then when you have Derrick Henry, when you're stacking the box to stop Derrick Henry, and you got another good receiver on the other side of you, DeAndre Hopkins he's going to get some numbers this year.
Oof. With Ryan Tannehill throwing him the ball until he gets injured in what week?
One more thing.
I'm not hoping for that.
So Will Levis is the strongest arm in football right now, right? At least according to him.
I know, and he can't beat out Malik Willis, as he should not be able to. Willis has another year with the playbook, yes.
Who would you rather have a quarterback, though? Proven Ryan Tannehill, who we know can at least play competent NFL quarterback, or Mac Jones, who's still a huge question mark?
Well, whose ceiling is higher, Tannehill or Mac Jones? I'm going to go with Jones. They were probably drafted right around the exact same spot, weren't they?
Tannehill was higher, I'm sure.
Was he?
I think Tannehill was 9.
I think he was 8 by Miami, right?
And Mac Jones was 15 or 14?
14 by New England.
Yeah.
But, or was he 15? But, I think Ryan Tannehill is clearly a better quarterback.
Well, now we can look back on his career. Mac Jones is the higher ceiling.
Hopkins' window, Mac better hit that quickly because Hopkins' window is small. Right. And obviously, these are not it's not like he was choosing between the Bills and the Chiefs. Do you think there's any way the Bills were getting up to $13 million a year for this guy?
Absolutely not. But
and if they had,
just because they can't, because the quarterback's getting paid a gajillion dollars.
And if they had, you'd be like, what are you doing? That's where you're putting your money?
I would have liked